Hello viewers! Today we're going to talk about one of the most annoying things you can have in a car, the dreaded check engine light, or as some models have it, the service engine soon indicator. When this amber lamp pops up on your dashboard, it's bound to make you worried, upset, and above all, wondered what triggered it. Well, to help you out with that, we'll find out what's the most likely to cause the check engine light, and after that we'll see how to precisely pinpoint the problem and, in the end, solve it. So let's go. Before going through common causes, let's quickly explain when and why the check engine light is triggered. In almost all cars today, the engine is controlled by DCM, which is short for Engine Control Module. This, in essence, is a computer that receives readings from various sensors, such as the crankshaft position sensor, MF sensor, throttle position sensor, and so on. And then, based on this data, DCM figures out when's the best time to inject the fuel, trigger the spark plugs, and regulate other engine functions. But when the signal from one of the sensors is missing or doesn't seem right, or there is something wrong with the injection or timing, the DCM will detect this. And to warn the driver about the problem, it will trigger a check engine light on the dashboard. This might be accompanied by other symptoms such as engine running issues, but it doesn't necessarily have to be so. So obviously, a whole lot of things can set the check engine light, but as promised, here's a list of those most likely to do so. One of the things sure to trigger the check engine light is a loose gas cap. This is because the fuel tank in modern cars must be hermetically sealed to prevent gasoline fumes from escaping into the atmosphere. So if the check engine light has popped up just a few miles after filling up with gas, you should first check if the cap is tightened up. And the same might happen if you were filling up with the engine running. In addition, all gas caps have a rubber seal on this side which may be damaged or worn out. All cars made in the past few decades have at least one oxygen sensor whose job is to analyze the content of exhaust gases. This data is used by the ECM to finally adjust the air-fuel mixture. But with time, the sensor's tip can get covered with soot and carbon buildups, which offsets its readings and causes engine issues. To correctly and optimally adjust the air-fuel mixture, the ECM first needs to know how much air the engine is getting. And this is measured by the MAF sensor, which is short for mass airflow sensor. But if the wire inside the sensor, which does the measuring, gets covered with dirt and dust, or it fails for any reason, its readings will be incorrect. The whole intake between the MAF and the engine must be completely airtight. If there are any cracks or leaks here, additional air, not metered by the MAF, will be drawn in. Consequently, the engine will be getting more air than the ECM thinks, making the air-fuel mixture lean. A catalytic converter's job is to turn polluting exhaust gases into less harmful ones. And most cars made since the late 90s have an additional sensor behind the converter which measures its efficiency. So if the catalytic converter for any reason doesn't perform well, the check engine light will be on. Spark plugs are one of those wear and tear parts that get fouled or worn out and need to be replaced on time. Otherwise, they won't be able to efficiently ignite the compressed air-fuel mixture, which reduces the engine's efficiency or may even cause misfire. And if a misfire does happen, the check engine light will be flashing. You may expect the same if the ignition coils or spark plug leads are bad. To function correctly, the car's sensitive electronics need a steady and stable power source. This is provided by the battery and the alternator, which must be in good shape. Otherwise, the voltages they generate will go up and down erratically, offsetting sensors' readings and other engine functions. You can check both the battery and the alternator with a multimeter. We have already covered most of the components mentioned here in separate videos, which you can find in the description below. Engines in our cars are very complex, and apart from those already mentioned, many other issues could trigger the check engine light. With that in mind, trying to fix the problem using guesswork only may not be the most effective way. Instead, what you should do is check the trouble codes, which are always stored in the vehicle's diagnostic memory once the check engine light is triggered. By doing so, you'll quickly narrow down the problem and, if lucky enough, successfully repair it. To get these codes, you will need an OBD2 scanner. With it, you can access the ECM and retrieve all trouble codes that might be stored inside its memory. Using the scanner is very simple. You just plug it into the OBD2 socket, which is usually located under the dashboard on the driver's side, and turn on the ignition. Then select the fault codes menu or whatever it may be called on your device and tell it to check the logged trouble codes. Once you've got the code, which is a combination of letters and numbers, you need to find out what it means and what's likely to cause it. One of the ways is to go to our site, where we have a long list with all codes and their explanations. You can find the link to this page in the description. The trouble code and corresponding explanation will direct you toward the potentially broken component, but before hastily replacing it, you should properly diagnose the problem. This includes checking all the connecting wiring and connectors, any hoses that may attach to the suspected component, and so on. If needed, repair the wiring or hoses, or if that's all okay, replace the broken part. Having fixed the engine issue, it's time to delete the trouble codes, which is again done with an OBD2 scanner. And then take your car for a test drive to see if everything's okay. If the check engine light doesn't return, give yourself a pat on the back as you've successfully repaired your car. As you probably may imagine, how much it will cost to solve the check engine light issue widely depends on what's causing it. A loose gas cap will cost you just a minute of your time as you tighten it up. On the other hand, a new catalytic converter could set you back $1,000 or more. So speaking about repair costs here really doesn't make sense. Besides, you can find more info on that in our videos dedicated to each of these topics. Instead, let's turn our attention to the device that makes the diagnosis so much easier, the OBD2 scanner. Now you may think this is some complex piece of equipment that costs hundreds of dollars, and not so long ago it actually was. But nowadays you can get something like this OBD2 adapter, which hooks up to your smartphone over Bluetooth for less than $50. And the apps which you'll need on your phone to communicate with the adapter are either free or quite cheap. These devices, despite having their limitations when compared to professional diagnostic equipment, are more than sufficient for amateur do-it-yourself repairs. And because the adapter is so small, you can always carry it in your car. This way, if the check engine light pops up while you're far away from home, you can easily see what's causing it. Okay viewers, that's what the check engine light is all about. I hope that after watching this you now know what it means, what may trigger it, and most importantly how to make it go away. If so, give us a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. But if the check engine light keeps coming back, you might have a much deeper issue with your car. So to continue troubleshooting, check out other videos here or visit our site mechanicbase.com for detailed automotive repair guides. Bye!